You say you've seen far worse or had far worse. What else have you suffered at the hands of these hooligans?
Oh, just lots of violence. The last time I was arrested, when they tried to take me to court, I was asking them to get me numbers from my phone in case I got sent to prison, because I would have to sort out childcare. And because I wouldn't get into the prison van to go to court, I got repeatedly kicked and punched, and then had my hand slammed in the door about 4 times. Oh,
so that's pretty hardcore torture. Imagine if Abu Ghraib, they were slamming people's hands in doors. There'd be an international outcry. But I guess if it's 2 women from Britannia, then it's normal.
Yeah, I'm not sure we get quite the bad treatment as they had in Abu Ghraib, but I mean, you're right, it's about pain compliance being used as not just a method of control, it's a way of causing a lot of pain.
And see, they label it. If I walked up to a cop and hit him in the head with a ball-peen hammer, it'd be attempted murder. But what if I called it friendly hello time? Oh, we're torturing you, it's just pain compliance. Yeah, we're going to be right back, ladies. I want to talk about where this is going on the other side. Stay with us.
This is Alex Jones. Have you heard of the Millionaire Patriot? Well, you should. He has a free handgun and 5 days of firearms training waiting for you. That's right. You can attend 5 days of world-class gun training at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute and secure a 30-state concealed weapons permit, all for pennies on the dollar. Plus, if you act fast, the Millionaire Patriot will give you a free Springfield Armory XD pistol in the caliber of your choice. I believe now is the time that you and your family need to be armed and trained to levels that exceed law enforcement and military standards. Front Sight provides such training without any boot camp mentality or drill instructor attitudes. This is real. Don't miss out. Secure a Front Sight defensive handgun course, plus a 30-state concealed weapons permit for pennies on the dollar, and get your free handgun. Go to frontsight.com today. That's FRONTSIGHT.com. Go to frontsight.com for your training and free gun.
I'm not going to say anything about it till it comes out in the newspaper, but one of the biggest newspapers in the country is here. And I was explaining to her that in England and now in the U.S., taking your shoes off at the airports is about an act of submission, an act of you're a criminal, you're bad. And how Paul Watson, Steve Watson get questioned by police when they go out to eat dinner. I've been there and been questioned. It's in the news that if you're at a park walking a dog, the police come up and take photos of you and say, are you a child molester? Or they come up and say, you're a terrorist. Tourist, now in D.C., everywhere we go, we'd be 100 yards from the Washington Monument, and they come up and say, you can't videotape that. And I go, what's the law? All right, buddy, we're going to arrest you. You got a problem? And this is about them bullying us and cowing us. And she goes, oh, I know. I was in England last week. They came up and told me I couldn't take photos at public places because of a child molestation law. So you're a terrorist, you're a child molester. We're all criminals basically now. This is about they're good, they're God. All the billboards about click it or ticket, and the cops are watching you. They have big signs all over London that say, safe under the watchful eyes, and it shows a big brother, one eye, looking at you. This is, they know what they're doing. This is a criminal rogue government. Going back to Emily Apple and Val Swain. Ladies, you heard me just talk about that. What is going on in England and the United States?
Well, I can't talk about the United States. I don't know anything about it. You're right in terms of surveillance and control has increased enormously, and what we're concerned about is particularly on protests where there's such a large-scale documentation of people that are involved.
Well, the misconduct of the police is being caught on video cameras everywhere, and they're scared, and they know it's beating them. And their attempt to say it's terrorism or pedophilia to have a camera and take a picture of the Washington Monument, it isn't going to work. I don't see this working for them.
I don't think it will, ultimately, because I think people are really beginning to realise what's going on. But I don't think the police are really that different. I think what's changed is that there's so much more technology around for people to capture what they're doing, and also the arrogance that, for example, the video of our arrest, that they thought it was okay to video that. And
exactly, that's what I was going to ask you. Why are they so arrogant to torture women, slam their hands in car doors, and laugh about it on video? I mean, we have New York cops coming up to 9/11 activists, truth activists in New York saying, I'm going to say your camera's a gun, your backpack's a bomb, I know you're not a terrorist. It's on video, but I'm going to say you are. I mean, and then the police grab Luke Radowski. I mean, they are framing people on video proudly. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think they're very arrogant. They are not easily held to account. I mean, if they do this sort of thing, what happens to them? Not an awful lot. Even if it goes through the press, even if it goes through the complaint system, even if it goes through the courts, at the end of the day, there's not a lot that's going to happen to them as a result of it. So, you know, they pretty much feel that they can do what they want.
Did you hear about Army and Marine Corps recruiters in Texas and in Colorado and other states lie to kids and say you'll be arrested if you don't sign and join the military? And then when the tapes get released, those guys get promoted?
That's just obscene.
I mean, is the state going completely criminal?
I think the state's always been a bit criminal. I'm not sure it's going that way. I think it is that way. The state's always worked in the interest of the rich and the powerful over everyone else, and in that sense, I think it's always been criminal, and it always devised laws and strategies to keep the rich and powerful in power.
So where does it go from here with this case? Are these cops going to get in trouble, or are they going to end up being chief constables for this, the more people they torture?
Oh, my money's on the chief constable. I can't see them getting into trouble particularly.
So they're going to end up probably being prime minister and deputy prime minister. All right.
Oh, he's commissioner of police, yeah.
Head of public order.
And so where does it end? Them all wearing little gold crowns and being worshipped, or?
Oh, it ends when enough people stand up to them and say, we're not going to take this anymore and we're going to do something about it. It doesn't come through politicians saying this is bad. It comes from people on the street actually doing something about it and just saying no.
Yeah, because they're just bullies at the end of the day, and like all bullies, you know, you just have to stand up to them, you know.
Well, you ladies are just amazing. I want to do a few more minutes with you on the other side, and then we'll let you go and also plug your great site. But I want to ask you when we get back how you got involved with this, why the police torture you for it, and if more people are joining you. I mean, I would love to see, instead of 2 women out there videotaping them, 100 men and women, so that they can't arrest everybody for videotaping the supposed kings. Because, I mean, folks, men and women in black uniforms choking and torturing women, it's tyranny. And if they can do this, they can do anything. Like take your pension funds and bankrupt everything and set up a world government, which is exactly what they're doing. But hey, drink more sodium fluoride, everything's fine.
Do you understand how dark it is? How far down the line we are? How late it is?
We are live at prisonplanet.tv. I'm Alex Jones. Your phone calls are coming up. Toll free 1-800-259-9231. And you found at the tip of the spear the front line in the info war, as we attempt to just point out the totally insane activities, the criminal activities of government, and desperately try to get our fellow humans to wake up and say no and tell government, you're not our God, we have basic rights. Because in every case in history, governments always try to enslave their populations, and it's happening again today. It's happening right now in a big way. In closing, with Emily Apple and Val Swain, great ladies who head up fitwatch.blogspot.com. Fitwatch, because that's the name of the forward intelligence team, the secret police that go out and gather intel on everybody. And I was talking to this newspaper reporter who's here doing a story on us. I'll go ahead and tell you. I wasn't going to do the interview because I'm so busy, but I didn't want it to look like I was scared to be interviewed, so the Wall Street Journal's in there doing a big story. She's like, oh, don't say it. Don't worry, we're not going to put you on TV, ma'am. And she just got back from England, and she was telling me how she was also doing, while she was there visiting family, she was doing a story on travel. And she was at the big, beautiful canals taking pictures, and citizens would come over and go, ma'am, you're not allowed to take photos of the canal or anything. It is the Family Protection Act, pedophilia. And then she would go on, and she said other citizens would come up. Ma'am, excuse me, we're tattletales now. Secret police Stasi, we do it worse than East Germany. Ha ha. So she just told me the whole story. And now here in Austin, it's in my film Road to Tyranny, made 7 years ago. They give credit cards that they put money on for turning in neighbors, parents. You get the biggest amounts of money. It's just total Soviet Union, East Germany, communist China isn't even this bad. And the British, supposedly, not the average folks, but a lot of them, they just love it. And so now if you try to photograph anything, they go, oh, act of terrorism, I'll call the police immediately. Don't take a photo. And I dare you to go to D.C. You can just set up anywhere at a city park and try to aim at a building. The police come running over, private security guards. You'll say, what's the law? And they'll just go, it's going to get, well, you saw Aaron Dykes and Rob Jacobson. It made the Kansas City Star. They're at the World War I memorial run by the city, videotaping, open park, and the Federal Reserve is across the street, and they're videotaping that. And the police, private security guards come with guns.